Hello lovelies, I'm Fragnostic and it's finally time for another Retro Rumble! This week, filling a request made a fair while ago by channel regular Before the Internet, with Taito's 1990 Galactic Arcade Gore Stravaganza Space Gun, a deceptively sterile sounding title for a game that has you messily serving eviction notices to the internal organs of multi-limbed ETs with a rapid fire lace death. It's like popping a quarter into a game called Track Sprinter and then running for your life from carnivorous warp cracking dicks. Here we go then, let's have ourselves some pre-drinks plot before we move on to the club, shall we? 2039 AD. Man begins deep space exploration. However, there are many unknown dangers in space. Like that planet, look at that giant son of a bitch. Oh, wait, that's Earth. On a crippled spaceship, signaling for help. You never told if the spaceship was already crippled, by the way, whether it was in use as part of some sort of equal opportunities program for disabled craft. A new horror is awakened. And there you go. Now you have to manually shoot out of that screen, by the way, which is always a pain in the dick when you're worried about skipping the story. You'll just be standing there like a stupid bastard in the arcade waiting for nothing. Strike one, Space Gun. So, as with all great rail shooters, very simple mechanics at play here, with a handful of neat little twists. First, you got the motion tracker in the center bottom of your screen, which might initially seem like little more than a shiny gimmick aped from the Alien movies, from which the game does take a fair amount of inspiration. After all, I mean, you'd figure that in a light gun game, the only thing you can really do is shoot whatever jumps out at you on screen. Radar or no, you gotta kill it one way or the other. The Space Gun is actually a pretty remarkable title in that respect compared to similar games around at the time, and even those that came out for years after it. Now, I'll begin my elaboration on that by saying, holy cock-sucking antelope Christmas, Space Gun is tougher than the Colossus of Rhodes is right bollock. I did a practice run of this a couple of days ago to prepare for the video, and mercy of God, it slapped the absolute piss out of me. This isn't just a game where you pump bullets into whatever's flapping around in front of you asking to die and then watch it fall over. So while some of Space Gun's lesser enemy cast can run with that description, your main adversaries here are these gruesome six-limbed moon bastards who only get progressively tougher as the game moves on. Now, you'll have already noticed I can pour a full clip of Space Gun into these fuckers from the second they pop on screen and still not have enough time to kill them before they wallop a chunk out of my health bar. And that's because the only surefire way to stop them from attacking you is to blow their damn arms off. Every time you delimb one of them, it staggers them for a second and forces them back. So, later on in the game, your only real chance of survival is to be using your motion tracker to micromanage roaming gangs of these motherfuckers by taking it in turns to blast the useful bits off of them. But even that gets impossibly hectic sometimes, and there are many points in Space Gun that do test that unspoken barrier between entertaining arcade difficulty and a cynical grab straight at your pockets. That's stage one. No boss today, but points for your rescued hostages and a smidge of your health bar back for the next level. Monsters attack the crew. Will any of them survive? Well, that's really up to Space Jesus, isn't it? They'll be fine, I'm sure, as long as none of them go sprinting into my line of fire, as hostages are prone to do. Now you see now, even here, at the beginning of the second stage of the game, how facing down any more than two of these fuckers at once can start to turn bad very quickly for you, but soon you'll see that Space Gun offers you a generous amount of Armageddon grade firepower to back you up. Now, you'll notice that I'm picking up what looks like multicolored ammo clips from glowing orb fixtures on the walls. And just like many of these rail shooters have an emergency button that you slap to launch a screen clearing bomb or what have you to help ferry you out of shit creek, Space Gun does you one better and gives you 4 different powerful backup weapons to deal with either the overwhelming amount of monsters that are regularly on screen, or the hilariously cheap bosses that just cycle through their attack animations, refusing to be stunned or deterred in any way until either you die or they do. Now, it won't be too long before I'm going to be forced to instigate a mini apocalypse here, I'm sure, but you can see your stock of these mega weapons just above your life bar. You got yourself a flamethrower that just sets the entire play area on fire, the grenade launcher, which is good for messily disassembling a target of your choice, a freeze bomb that ices a good area of whatever you aim it at for free and easy machine gun shattering, and finally the blade bomb that carves a fatal horizontal line through anything caught at the height you fire it. And there's another notable feature of Space Gun: you can't just hit the bomb button and expect the game to wipe your ass for you. You gotta aim and fire these special weapons as carefully as you would your regular gun, which you'll have seen by now works on a cooldown system that penalises your rates of fire if you fill the red meter above your life bar up the whole way. Here we are, we start chucking out a few of these treats for our extraterrestrial friends now. This section gets overpopulated incredibly quickly. We got the first boss coming up in just a second here anyway. Yeah, here we are. Save your freeze bombs for the bosses if you can, because as I say, it's literally the only way to stop them from repeatedly biting or punching or headbutting you to death. They're not too bad when they're just spitting projectiles at you, but as I'm sure you'll see in a second, they do love themselves an uninterruptible physical attack. Come on, you nightmare-dwelling space cock. Back to whatever hell Martian Satan chucked you out of. It is fairly disgusting and graphic for a Taito game, it has to be said. I mean, there was Kabuki Z, I guess, but back in this sort of era, you think Taito, you think Bubble Bobble, Rainbow Islands, not exploding alien rib cages. All communication from Starbase R has ceased. Take command of a space shuttle and investigate. Well, I already have my theories. Nice little change of pace here as you go winding through the rocky terrain of Starbase R's perimeter. There's some classic UFOs to shoot down as well. No blood there, good clean fun. Although they do mix it up with carnivorous fucking manta rays that hock up radioactive brains at you. You see I got an invincibility power up for a few moments there. As far as I'm aware, that is the only invincibility power up in the entire bloody game. Certain pickups and hostages and such are randomised, but I've never seen it crop up anywhere else. There's something so satisfying about blowing up flying saucers. In all games, they just look fantastic detonating in mid-air or spiraling to the ground all shot to pieces and fucked up. So, consequently, I think this is pretty marvellous right here. I have such a hard-on for alien mothership battles. I don't know what to tell you. Any other kind of flight or ship-based combat? You know, the Star Wars ones are great, but that's more because I'm a hardcore fan of the franchise than anything else, but there's something special about dogfighting your way through a swarm of UFOs, taking down the bitch, spitting them out. Of course, once that's out the way, you're right back to shooting at fangy-mouthed body horrors with no stun recoil, so first it giveth and all that. Go back to Mars, you walrus-faced son of a bitch. There you go. Blow all the limbs off someone in this game and it retaliates by spitting barrages of pulsating medical waste at you. We've arrived at the star base. Are the occupants in danger? Why'd you keep asking me these stupid goddamn questions? Feels like you're being sarcastic, or at the very least trying to teach me at a preschool level about the dangers of colonising a hostile planet full of carnivorous solar demons. Of course, what would be a nice surprise is if we came in here and the occupants were actually in no danger whatsoever. Whoa there, buddy! What are you waving that gun around in here for? This is a peaceful place. Say, you didn't fire that thing off around our pet Octawalrus out the front there, did you? He hates loud noises. No. He was exploded when I got here. Bit of branching path action for you there. Another rail shooter first you can fist bump Space Gun for. Space Gun was actually ridiculously innovative. As far as I know, this was the first light gun game to use the cooldown meter on your weapon. which would go on to feature in a lot of games in the genre like Terminator 2, the arcade game, and Alien 3. There have been limitations on your firepower before that, but they were along the lines of Operation Wolf, which gave you a set amount of ammo to use, like Mechanized Attack and Rambo 3, which, Operation Wolf was an amazing game for the time. But that ammo mechanic was such a wet fucking blanket, such an antithesis to what I think everybody wanted the game to be, which was just mindlessly mowing down terrorists in the jungle. And so, what was surprising, although, perhaps not given the general quality of video game journalism, oh fuck me, there's another invincibility power up. What do you know? Was that Space Gun was described as an Operation Wolf clone, while it pushed so many innovative features into the genre. The gun cooldown, the motion tracker, the variety of sub-weapons. The hostages are nothing new, but they will randomly become infected and turn into aliens sometimes, which the game Alien 3 went on to pinch, even though it used it in a much more scripted manner. Perhaps one of the coolest features of all was that on the Space Gun arcade cabinet itself, there was a pedal, and you might have seen the Attract demo trying to teach you how to use it at the start of the video. And what the pedal does is allow you to retreat back the way you came if you feel like you're getting too badly swarmed and you need to back off, which, as I mentioned earlier, is where the motion tracker becomes infinitely more useful. That's also where the timer at the top of the screen comes in too. You might have been thinking it was somewhat odd for a rail shooter to have a time limit running, but in Space Gun, if you chicken out of combat too much and waste too much time retreating and being a pussy, the clock will swing the axe on you. There's something morbidly unsettling about fighting a giant bloodthirsty manta ray in a chapel. This motherfucker can have all my freeze bombs. He's got one attack that he loves, which is to ram into you over and over at the speed of fucking sound. There he goes. Yum yum! Fishy chunks. Stick that down for the cats. They'll be happy for weeks. You rescued 9 hostage. That's what I do, baby. Are some people still alive in the depths of the base? Who cares? Doesn't this shithole have a self-destruct button? Space Gun got a handful of console and home computer ports. There's a very decent Amiga version of this actually, but first version I ever played of it was when I rented the Sega Master System port, which is just one of the most boring games I've ever played in my life. Just so unbelievably bloody slow. And you might say, oh, limitations of the hardware, hurdy-dur. But the Master System mopped the fuck up at light gun games. Had a great port of Operation Wolf. There was Rambo 3, Gangster Town, Wanted. Even its ridiculously child-friendly version of Duck Hunt, Safari Hunt, where whatever you shot just ran away looking pissed off, like you put a .338 Winchester mag through a bear's heart and he'd glare at you and trot off with a little fucking bandage over where all his blood should be falling out. Even that was great. And they were all out years before Space Gun. It's not like it was shipped out to some fuck backwards third-party company. Taito themselves did the conversion. Ocean handled all the PC ports and apparently put a whole lot more effort in. Where they could. Graphically, the Spectrum version looks like dog shit, but they did an amazing job keeping so many enemies moving quickly on screen as it did. A lot of the creature design and just kind of visual style of this game reminds me a lot of Alien Syndrome, which was just the 80s go-to template for horrific tentacle masses of subhuman nightmare fuel. This is basically a first-person Alien Syndrome. The flamethrower in that sucked as well. Why is it a rule that every flamethrower in a fucking video game has to be terrible? Can you think of any exceptions to the rule here? I genuinely love to know. Shouldn't it be an absolutely amazing weapon? Try not to wriggle here, sweetheart. I don't want to take off an eye or a lump of brain you might need for future employment. Assuming the counselling after this goes well. But yeah, flamethrowers. Even spells that look like flamethrowers are shit. Diablo 2, that Inferno spell, Jesus Christ. Have you ever encountered a more tragic waste of mana? There's some womb mummies there. Gotta have a disgusting womb level in your late 80s space shooter. I don't write the laws, lovelies. Now, this son of a bitch. Take a good long look at him. Remember his... Well, he doesn't have a face, I guess. Remember his breathing spouts, because we'll be seeing him again before we're all said and done here. He is a gigantic pain in the fucking arse. Turn into an evil-looking serving of mashed potatoes now, but he'll be no laughing matter at the end of the game, I promise you. He takes absolutely forever to die in both his appearances, but the bullshit dial gets cranked so hard on the final screen of Space Gun, it's unreal. How were people so mad about Mortal Kombat back then? When you're paying attention, I'm literally machine gunning a ball of fetuses to pieces while it tears itself apart to spite me. And now it's dead. Fuck me, I'm barely hanging on myself here. The situation at the base has worsened. Initiate self-destruct. Escape from here immediately using the spaceship at the base. So it does have self-destruct. And how's the situation worsened? Just murder them all and save like 20 fucking people. Get out of it, you fuckers! Final stage horse shittery in full effect here. God damn it. I'll tell you what. Worst flamethrower ever. And those of you that have been hanging around the channel for a couple of years might remember this. Aliens vs Predator, the 2010 edition. Oh my god. Has there ever been a weapon that begged your enemies to fucking humiliate you any harder? I've got another invincibility whatsamajiggy. Oh my god. That fucking flamethrower. First of all, it did absolutely no damage to anything. It just set it with a timer to explode. As if it actually stayed alight. I remember setting fire to a facehugger rag and just watching the fucking thing suddenly decide not to be on fire anymore. Assuming the aliens do stay on fire, they then go absolutely berserk and come charging towards you, which you have absolutely no chance of outrunning. And then they grab hold of you, and if you're lucky, you'll only suffer their usual melee damage, plus of course a bonus because you set it alight, you fucking idiot. But most likely, they will choose that exact moment to explode, which instantly kills you. Utter fucking joke of a weapon. So here we go then. Final screen. Of course, it's not as simple as just entering the cockpit and returning to Earth. What in the name of God are you thinking? No, first you gotta fight a shitload of aliens, but with the added condition that if you hit the cockpit too many times, it'll explode and give you the bad ending. Which really isn't anything spectacular outside of misspelling the word destroyed and asking another of its ridiculous bloody questions. Should we give ourselves up? Actual, legitimate quandary pondered by your character. Yeah, these look like the types to accept a surrender, don't they? Now this son of a bitch is back with a health bar as thick as Cthulhu's cock, and the only way you're going to stand a chance against him is to take both of his arms away from him at the earliest opportunity. Give me the other one. You know I want it. You're essentially looking to limit his attacking options to his least lethal ones here. Once both his arms are gone, he'll fall back on continuously spawning his gooey blue... Oh dear, there goes the other one. Mercy, get the mop. Our friends had a terrible accident. But there you see he still possesses a couple of incredibly aggravating moves to trick you into shooting your own cockpit by suddenly disappearing. And he's also got this ludicrous psionic blast you can do absolutely nothing to avoid. Fuck me. His flamethrower attack's not too bad. Doesn't do a huge amount of damage. Keeps him occupied for a good long while he's pulling it off. Fucking hell, look at the state of this. Hanging on by the tip of my dick skin here. Yes! Fuck off! Finally. Ah. I was so sure I was getting killed there. You have no idea. We gotta fly this broken piece of shit home now. Good luck. This war has just started. When they invade our mother planet Earth, we must unite and fight against them. Best plan, best tactics. Space Gun is general now. Enjoy the classic credits and a round of applause for Spider, EO's Queen, and many monsters. They really earned their money today. Many monsters. You ain't fucking joking, are you? My word. Space Gun, ladies and gentlemen. An absolutely terrible name for a very good game. Join me next week on Retro Rumble to give the Sega Genesis some love. Should have played it a few weeks ago. Didn't. doing it now. It's Splatterhouse 3.